All right, welcome to Kingdom Business Network and Merry Christmas to all of you that have joined us today. We're in a wonderful season as we come to the close of 2023. Well, it's been quite an eventful year, a lot of things happening, a lot of turbulences, especially in the world of business, economic challenges, prices escalating, and so many things have probably changed in your life. But again, well, a new year comes with new hopes and new dreams, new ideas. So we are looking forward to see the end of this year and also come to the new year. So I welcome you. Thank you for joining us wherever you are. And no matter what you have gone through, there's just something to celebrate during this Christmas. I'm joined here with wonderful friends and colleagues in ministry and business. We have Bishop Francis Mungai, or Dr. Mungai, if you like it. And how have you been?
I've been quite well, Bishop. We're thanking God for this season. Yes.
All right. How would you say about the year that is almost ending?
The year is a beautiful year. In everything, the Bible tells us to give thanks. Yes, there's been a number of challenges, but remember, every challenge for business people like me is an opportunity. Yes, we've seen issues with people talking about tax and all that, but I think we're going to get over this and prosper.
So I like what you said, that every challenge is an opportunity. So, well, you had that. And no matter the challenge you're in, I've had people say, I was going through a very big challenge, and out of that, I came up with a great business idea, a great opportunity, and today they are thriving. So I like, what you're saying. We also have Mr. Steve Kamau, the Reverend. So tell us, how has it been?
It's been well. Welcome, viewers. Thank you for joining us on the Kingdom Business Network. Before the close of 2023, we want to believe God that something can shift in your business. And we're here to be a small support to you. The year has gone by quickly. A lot of exciting things happening. A lot of challenges in the world that we are living in. But the grace of God is sufficient to carry us through. So we hope that today the nuggets that you receive from this business forum will help you to propel you to the next level.
Thank you so much. Well, today we have a very interesting topic. We're thinking about Christmas business opportunities. Indeed, we know Christmas is a time to celebrate the birth of our Savior who came, and he was born in this world to save us, set us free, and much more. But we also look at, I know people use during this season of Christmas as to do a lot of business. So we want to look at, what is right, what is wrong, how can we make this season count, even in the business arena, so that even as we celebrate, somebody will also be saying, well, there are many other opportunities that come with the Christmas, because Christmas is celebrated at the end of the year. People are closing business, getting ready for the next phases in next year, and much more. But before we dive into that, maybe we can try to reflect a little bit about Christmas and how was it when you're growing up, thinking about Christmas as a child, as a youth, those years in the 70s, in the 80s. I don't know what change, Dr. Francis, you see today.
Well, it is a very interesting topic because my childhood memories of Christmas are totally different from my memories when I grew up. When we were young, we understood Christmas not as a time of celebrating Christ. Yes, we knew it was about Christ. But the main reason why we looked forward to Christmas was because that's the time we could eat chapati. That's the time we could eat chicken. So in those old days, chicken was not as common as it is today. Today you can walk into KFC or Nando's or Otterview and buy chicken. That time it was a very rare commodity. Might be, you can call it a delicacy because it was so rare. So we could only have chicken, might be once in a year or 2 or 3 times. Might be Easter, Christmas.
Yeah.
Chapati was also a rare commodity.
That's correct.
So you knew for sure that Christmas, you'll take chicken, you'll take chapati. So as kids, we look forward to the chapati.
And the neighbors were generous.
I wonder, why was chapati such a rare thing during, the whole year? Why was it such a rare thing?
I think it's the way we were brought up, because a lot of people were used to eating ugali and githeri. That was especially people from Central. That was the most common thing.
Yes.
That is what we ate day in, day out.
Yeah.
But later, ungano, that's wheat, started being introduced slowly into the market. By that time, it used to be very, very rare.
Very rare commodity.
We used to eat chapati from this unga called X.
Yes.
So when you saw a packet of X, we even knew that a packet then, I don't know about your area, produced 12 chapatis.
That's correct.
And they were very thick.
Those must be very thick.
There were 12.
Today, I think they produce about 30.
They were all counted.
They were all counted,
Today's business, they have to do more. Steve, what do you have? When you think about Christmas in those days.
I think for most of us, our Christmas was similar to my brother here, that brother Mungai, that it was very exciting time and a lot of eating and waiting for the small gifts that you get during that time. Because like I do remember, we didn't have many clothes. So, but during Christmas, at least you'll get maybe a shirt.
Yeah.
Not a whole set, maybe a shirt.
That's true.
Maybe a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. So that was very exciting. The food was plenty. We knew that there is food being cooked in all the neighborhoods, and we would go from our home to someone else's home and enjoy their meal. The bread was generous, and that really tells me that Christmas is about giving. And that's what Christ came to do, to give us his own life. And through that, now we're able to give. And even in those days, people are very generous. And even today, people give a lot during Christmas.
Yeah.
That's why, gift shops are completely busy during this time, because people are buying gifts to give to their friends. Where I live in the US, people start buying gifts in September for Christmas.
Wow.
Yeah, and putting them under the tree. It's a great tradition of just giving.
Yeah. Wow. It's amazing. I think for me, I remember, especially one Christmas, like you're saying, we didn't get new clothes and shoes until Christmas. So I remember this one Christmas, I got a pair of shoes and a Kauda suit, which only came during Christmas.
Only Christmas. Yeah.
And it was a brown one, because in the rural areas, they have to buy you brown suit because, of course, it's very dirty and dusty. And then you wear that every Sunday the rest of the year. And then the shoe was, it was very tight, biting. That very painful the whole day. But again,
you had to wear it.
I don't have any other
That's
shoe.
the only shoe you got.
That's the only shoe I have.
Yeah.
So for me, I remember that Christmas, and we were going to visit some other family in Vicar, very wealthy family. And so they hosted us for the whole day. And there was a lot of food and drinks and everything. And a big home and everything. So for me, that was like, man, it was very painful wearing that shoe the whole day.
Yeah.
And we left probably that family or that home around after 10 in the night. So you can imagine the pain from morning until around 10 o'clock in the night.
Yeah.
It was very painful.
And you have to
but
wear
again, you have to wear it. You don't have a choice. So I think there are many memories about Christmas, those days. And I still remember, the pan, the frying pan.
It's called rogeo.
For making chapatis. Like in our village, there were not enough.
Yeah.
So not every family owned that pan.
Correct.
So you'd actually go looking for one. People would book.
Yeah.
Like for me, I would start from 6 a.m. up to 8 a.m. Another family from 8 to 10. Another one from So even until 4 o'clock, there's still it is still going around.
Yeah.
I don't know that it was that expensive, but
there wasn't not much money circulating.
But it wasn't being used the whole of the year.
It wasn't being used all year. So you might as well borrow it.
And then also I remember going around on the 24th at night, because the story was Jesus will be born at midnight, just before 25th.
Yeah.
So people would go, the local church, people would go around homes. I don't know that they did that in your area.
Yes, they did.
In those days, asking for people to give gifts. So
Right.
people would give eggs and the potato and the beans and all that.
Yeah.
Then on the 25th, they are sold in the church and somehow make it kind of offerings. So actually you'd wait, and some of the homes, they would come like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. So you have been waiting and waiting until they come now at the gate and they start singing. But let alone because of insecurity, people started drinking and stealing, then that was stopped. So I don't know whether that was happening in your area.
Yeah, for us, the 24th night, it's a night to wait for the birth of the Savior.
Yes.
And you dare not sleep until the Savior is born.
Until the Savior is born at midnight.
At midnight. And then there was a celebration, there was singing, there was rejoicing, and people moving around,
Yeah.
So it is be quite interesting.
Yeah. So now, coming back to business, what opportunities are there? I think that's a question we're asking ourselves. I know there are people who take it to the other extreme, where they think Christmas is all about business. But I want to remind you, Christmas is more than business. It is celebrating the birth of Jesus. And even as we're talking about shopping and all those things, it doesn't mean if you don't have a new dress or a new suit, or you don't eat that, delicious food, then you're not celebrating Christmas. It's not about what you eat and what you wear. It is about the Savior. It's about Jesus. He's the reason for the season.
Correct.
So that's very important not to forget that, even as we do business. But again, on the other side of the coin, there are many business opportunities, because as people celebrate, of course, celebration also costs. So maybe, I don't know what comes to mind, some of those opportunities people may think about, especially when you talk about our economy in Kenya, where a lot of young people don't have jobs, and many families need at least to earn a living. So we need to think we can open somebody's eye, not just for this Christmas, even for other Christmas seasons, to think as people are celebrating, what are those opportunities that we can actually tap into that can help a family, help young people, to think outside the box and to help people to celebrate Christmas. Maybe you can put in.
Well, the thing is that we need to understand that Christmas is not all about the business. And as Bishop has said, it's more about the Savior. But as we do that, we are also business people. We need to understand that there is business opportunities to help people celebrate. We can also make some money. And Christmas is also about making memories. And that's all about life, making memories, memorable moments. And because of memorable moments, there are a number of things that go around the season. This is a season whereby you can actually make a lot of money, and a lot of businesses all over the world, they actually make their highest sales during Christmas because people are on a celebratory mood. So if we looked at the celebrations and what goes into celebrations, then we can actually come up with business opportunities, especially for young people, that you can look at now and even in future Christmas, so that when you hear about Christmas, you understand that as a Christian business person, yes, you're celebrating the Savior, but also number two, you can also make a living out of it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Correct. Because some people might think there's something more about it, but it's not, because it's an opportunity that is available.
Yes.
And one of the opportunities, and we'll list a number of them, is photography.
Correct.
Okay. People are out there to make memories, and people want to capture those moments. No, this is a time you can actually do photo shoots. You can have photography for events, for home gatherings and all that. So if you're armed with a camera, and today you can even arm yourself with a nice camera from your phone, and a little bit of digital ability to do some editing and Photoshop and the rest of it, and produce some nice photos.
You can get a lot of money.
You can actually make a lot of money as you capture those moments.
And print them for people.
Exactly.
And all, because people Okay, with our phones today, we take a lot of photos, but we don't develop them, we don't print them. So they remain in our phones. You may find somebody in the phone, you have 3,000, 5,000 photos. But people need to be more creative.
Correct.
That's an opportunity that it can actually help people to have those memories. And that's important. I think you mentioned about gifts.
Yep.
People can, this is a time people are sharing gifts. You can think of those baskets that people put in, gifts. Or you can even bring some gifts that people can actually buy to go and share with their friends and family. I don't know, Reverend Steve, what you think?
What I'm thinking is long-term preparation for Christmas in order to maximize on it. And one idea that comes into my mind is if you go to a place like Nyahururu, where we went recently, you find that the habitation there is very good. Farmland is very healthy. And if someone can buy small sheep, zinaitwa doba, zile za manyoya. Someone can buy those and buy them small. They told me the price is like 4,000 shillings. And when they sell it, when it's mature, it's about 15,000.
Wow.
You see, now if you put it in and rent a piece of farm and put like maybe 500 or 1,000 of them and just raise them for the whole year, you can imagine at the end of the year, the return that will bring. Okay.
That's a lot of money.
Imagine the return that will bring. If you buy this each 4,000 or even 3,000 if you negotiate, then buy as many as you can, put them in, and then during Christmas time, it becomes the time that you begin to get your returns. Because people want to eat good meat, soft meat, tender meat.
Very tender.
And people are looking for it. And the suburban areas, people will buy them. Somebody can put 1,000, somebody else can put 50, somebody else can put 500, depending on their ability. And, those kind of animals, they don't have a lot of, they are not hands-on. They're not like cows. You just release them to the field, they're able to find their own food. So it's easy, those kind of things that are easy, but it calls for someone to prepare ahead of time. Because Christmas is coming again next year. So how can I maximize? How can I make my first million next year? That's a good way to invest. Because during Christmas, you don't convince people to buy those animals. People want to eat them.
And the prices are quite high during Christmas.
During Christmas, the prices
so you get very good returns around Christmas.
The returns are high.
And everybody else is looking for it.
Everyone
for a goat or a sheep.
But now, you cannot be thinking about Christmas in November.
It's too late.
It's too late.
You need to plan.
You really need to plan a whole year out so that you can have a good return. That's what I think.
I think we have a culture of coming in too late.
Coming in, too late.
Like November or even early December. That's why we end up buying some of the goats that, especially coming from Northeastern, they are good, but they have been walking for months.
From Northeastern.
So when you buy them, we've had some experiences where you've slaughtered a goat, but nobody can eat it until unless those who have very good teeth, very
because
sharp.
that's a goat that has been going to the gym every day.
There's a time I bought one. I had to boil it, I don't know, for 2 hours. Because we finished cooking, then we realized we can't eat, so we took it back for recooking. We decided to heat it up again, boil it up, and then
it still will not get soft.
It wasn't getting soft.
Because imagine going from Northeastern and sleeping on the tarmac. That animal has done all the workout necessary to become fit.
It's been walking from Garissa to Nairobi.
One thing we know, it's not sick because it's been exercising. But it's not good for consumption.
So there's an opportunity for nice goats.
Nice goats from a good place.
Tender mass.
Like Nyahururu.
Like
you go to a place where it's cool. It means that the animals there will have tender meat.
Tender meat.
That's what people want. You don't want to be fighting with meat.
And we have this.
Ati ukiwachilia ikugonge,
yeah.
your meno imetoka. It's not good.
Yeah.
Like umenunua. It's not good.
And you have this goat which eats, what do you call it, volcanic ash,
Yeah.
which are a little bit salty.
Yeah.
And very nice.
You know, I went somewhere and they were very nice. They served me meat. And boy, I was excited. The moment I bit the first one, I was like, is this meat?
It's like rubber.
I tried to chew it. And for a long time, it's just not chewable. So I removed it kindly and I decided, no, I'm nice.
Forget about it.
I'm nice, but I'm not going to eat your meat. If I can't chew it, I can't swallow it. You know?
I think that brings us to planning.
Yes.
I think in business, the principle of planning is key.
Correct.
Because I think in Africa, one of the things, including all of us, where we don't do very well is planning.
Yeah.
You go to Western world,
Right.
somebody will be planning to come to Kenya and they'd say, when did you start planning? 5 years ago.
Right.
And here they are, they start saving money, planning. When they buy their tickets, they even buy them cheap because they'll buy like a year before.
Yeah.
For us, you meet somebody today, they're saying, I'm looking for a ticket for next week.
Yeah.
Then the prices are too high.
Right.
So I don't know what you say about planning in business.
Planning in business is very key because that's how you're able to envisage exactly what the customer requires.
Right.
The quality they require, like what type of a goat are they looking for?
Right.
Because that's what creates an edge for you.
Right.
You realize that this is what is available in the market, like what you've just talked about. But what is the opportunity for me? So how can I do it differently?
Correct.
And differentiate myself such that when December comes, my goods, for example, or my sheep, or whatever it is that I'm selling, is going to be quality. That means I'll not struggle looking for customers.
No.
Number two, I'll be able to fetch good prices. So you plan ahead, and then you're able to meet that customer need in a unique way, and in a better way than any other person.
Correct.
So planning is very, very important.
Very important.
Yes.
Very important.
Oh yeah, that's
Very
true.
important. Very
I think Kenyans, we need to rise up and begin to plan. Like now, let's say, even for next year, a lot of people depend on what we call the New Year's declarations or resolutions, and they don't go anywhere. By the time you come to February, all those things are forgotten. But I think most of them come from lack of planning. Because you should be thinking, if you have a business, or if there's something you want to do next year, you have an idea, you start planning, you sit down, put it on paper, and begin to think, how is it going to look like? What do I want to do in January, February, March, the first quarter? What do I want to do the second quarter until the end of the year? But if we start planning when we are already there, then we don't go very far, or we don't get the best out of the opportunities we may be having. So I think planning is key.
Very key.
And I think that's a culture we need to adopt from people who plan. Short-term, mid-term, long-term. Short-term meaning up to maybe 6 months, mid-term up to 2 years, but again 5, 7, 10 years. Because again, some people will argue like you don't plan because you don't know about tomorrow, who will be here. I don't know what you think about that.
I think it's very important to plan.
Yeah.
And one other business idea I think that is good for planning ahead is a lot of middle class people. They like to take their families on vacation, right? So when they take them on vacation, they're going to nice hotel, but they don't want to pay a lot of money. Okay. So as a business person, you decide during Christmas time people want to go on vacation. Okay, and these are the places that people like to go to. Okay, some people like to go to Dubai, others like to go to Mombasa, others like to go to Naivasha, others like to go to Mount Kenya. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going in January to begin to contact all these hotels and work out packages that will be catered towards these groups of people that come November or December, early December, they are looking for a place to go. And the places are full. So that now you come up with an idea of how to reserve those places because you know that people are going to be looking for them. So that now you begin to tell people, I have this package and this is how much it's costing. Okay? Now, doing that, it helps you to negotiate during low season with these industries and they are able to listen to you. because they also want your business.
So you don't have to own the places.
You don't need to own it. All you have to do is call them and tell them I have a group. How much are you going to give me a group rate for? Okay? So now once they give you the price, now you work out your own price. Because you know if they come in December, they will pay double. When that time comes, they will contact you. And then you organize for them to start paying.
Yeah.
Okay? Because Christmas is coming. You're going to be having, your family is going to be traveling. If you start paying 1,000 or 2,000 every month, your vacation will be covered by the end of the year, or whatever the amount is, and you will not feel it. Now your work is to follow up. We are waiting for your payment because your vacation is coming. Or this is August, you're behind on 2 months. We need you to catch up so that we pay. By the time it's September, you have paid the hotels, you made your money, and now all they have to do is check into their places. And you do the same thing next year.
Right.
Travel planners. That's the business.
Travel.
So you can actually start a travel planning business, whereby you actually look for destination, as you said. And in this destination, you are able to start selling that concept to people, and also negotiating with hotels for packages. And closely related to travel planning is events planning.
Correct.
Events, yeah.
Now that we are talking about planning. So event planners are also people who are very much needed in the society. Because there are people who are thinking about Christmas, but they don't know how to go about handling every detail of what they are doing. Some people organize some big events, and you need somebody to plan that, plan the venue, plan the food, plan the decorations, the tents, plan the seats, and all that. So this is a very good opportunity for people who do events planning. And you can actually start by hiring or buying a small tent or a few tents, buy a few chairs, and then start selling the concept to people. And come December, they'll be looking for you.
They'll be looking for you.
Exactly.
And most of these things don't require money.
Yeah, you can even hire them by the way. You just need to know that so-and-so has got tents. I can negotiate and get a good discount from them. And then the differential is what I charge my customer to remain relevant in the market. So I'll go get the business, get the tents from so-and-so, but handle the whole event for a client. Even corporates at this particular time, they're actually organizing Christmas parties for their employees. So who is planning that? We need somebody to step into that space and exploit that business opportunity.
Correct.
Amazing.
So it requires someone to do that before Christmas. So we're emphasizing on planning ahead. So someone who is looking at this Christmas and thinking of what they can do this Christmas, it may be a little too late to be able to do something meaningful because it's already here with us. But someone can plan now from January and start looking and exploring on those ideas. Because when people do not plan, when people fail to plan, they actually plan to fail.
That's true.
Right.
Wow.
So that's
there are many opportunities. And you don't have to have a lot of money.
Correct.
Because there are people with the equipment and supplies they are looking for. And they are looking for people who can help them to market them. So you can become the marketer because you have your own network. And then you bring them together. You don't have the tents, chairs, whatever. But when you bring them, you make your 10,000, 20, 30,000. Just bringing the two together. You become like a meat person or a broker, for that purpose. So, what other opportunities are there during Christmas?
I would want to focus on the other main reason why people celebrate Christmas, or one of the main ingredients, and that is food.
Food.
Food is, there's no event without food. You invite people for a party and there's no food. I can assure you they'll look at you and they'll start wondering. Even in our tradition, we always say that if you invite people, you don't even tell them stories until you first of all give them food. So food business is quite big and quite key. And here we are looking at things like catering service, we are looking at baking services, we are looking at people who can come in and help you cook and all that. So tackling them one by one, let me start with the idea of mbuzi. There's an opportunity here for people who can choma the mbuzi for you. You might not have a lot of money, but I've seen people who know how to roast mbuzi. And those people who know how to roast mbuzi, if you are there and you're listening to me, you don't sit with that skill. you can actually be hired to go to people's houses to just roast boozy. And guess what? You enjoy in the process.
Yeah, that's true.
You'll be the one eating the mara and the rest of it.
Yeah.
So that's an opportunity. Still on that opportunity, you find there are people who know how to cook. And they are actually hired to go and cook at events.
Correct.
So you don't need to own a spoon or a plate or a sufuria, whatever it is. All you need to know is you can cook good chapatis or you can cook good mukimo, whatever it is that you are good at. That's a business opportunity. You can actually give your services, render your services to people who are doing these events. The other one is baking.
Baking, yeah.
If you know how to bake, you can bake cakes, because this Christmas or in this season, you have people taking cakes, people taking cookies, and that's a big business opportunity. And then catering service, as I said, that's also a very, very big opportunity. Yeah.
You know, I heard about a building, before we take a commercial break, about this, it's called Blessed House, right across from Garden City Mall. They have good places to rent for businesses. So if someone is looking for a place to rent, I would recommend them to Blessed House. Come and just inquire. And I also heard that they are not very expensive. They didn't pay me to say this, but please, if you're looking for a place and you're a businessman or businesswoman, you're looking for a place to rent, Blessed House, highly recommended. I've had a few people who rented, and they have said how they love the place because of convenience and locality and the serenity of the place. So I would highly recommend it to you.
Wonderful, thank you. I think it's going very well, and I like the idea of food. Food is a big industry, and I think people need to think more about what can I do in all that industry. And you mentioned about even people who roast meat, and I remember one time we had some guests, and we hired somebody to do the meat, and they charge for every goat like 2,000 shillings. That's good money. So if you have two of them, that's 4,000 shillings. And again, they make your work easier. Instead of trying to get around and wondering who can do it for me, who can help me, they end up messing, the meat is burnt or whatever. Well, we'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue to share more and many more opportunities that you can find during Christmas in business. So we are trying to connect, business with the Christmas, what is good, what is wrong, and even to see what is the essence, what is the importance of Christmas. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Happy Life mission is supported by 3 pillars: rescue mission for the most vulnerable, quality Christian education, and lastly, first-class comprehensive medical care. Under the rescue mission is the Happy Life Children's Home.
Well, in the year 2002, we decided we want to jump in, we want to go and begin to help these children. Well, little did we know the need was even greater than we thought. There were 5, there were 10, there were 20, there were 100, 200, and now we are talking of close to 1,000 children that have been rescued through Happy Life Children's Home.
The Happy Life mission first and foremost started as Happy Life Children's Home, and I want to tell you that in the 20 years that we have rescued children, I have seen children come in all shapes and in all conditions, and it is amazing how much transformation we see in these children.
The Nairobi campus has babies from the age of 0 to 3 years. Most of the children that come to Happy Life Children's Home come without a name. We give them a name and we love them. When the kids are of school age and they have not been adopted, they move to the Juja Farm campus where they live and go to school. In as much as many children are adopted, there are others who remain at Happy Life for a number of years. In the belief that children are meant to be raised in a family, for those who remain with us, we provide a family-like community setting. Under the education pillar is the Happy Life Christian School and Faith Premier High School.
The Happy Life Christian School started in a very interesting way because we started to realize our kids were getting to school-going age. We had a class at our Rosambu Center, and then we realized that the number was growing, and the next year we needed to have more. And I want to thank God that in 2013 we took 13 children to Juja and started what we call the Happy Life Christian School. And this school has grown. We have seen children come in playgroup and PP1, and some of them right now are in our high school. Others that have come through our hands are in different high schools in this country. And I love just the energy these children have. We have the Girl Guides and the Scouts. We have children that are very talented in music, playing the instruments, doing all sorts of things with their hands. They do a very good poetry. The school is really vibrant.
About 3 years ago, we also began high school, which is a Faith Premier High School, which is also in Juja South. Because again, these children, as they grow, some got to the place where they need to go to high school. And it's very challenging when you have 15, 20 children that are going to high school and they are students, to take them to different schools in Kenya. So we thought the best option was for us to start a high school. This year the school is in up to Form 3, and next year we will be going to Form 4. And also we have just started now, according to the new education system, we have started the junior secondary school.
Under the comprehensive medical care pillar, we have the JCK Children's Hospital, which was established to provide quality healthcare for the body, mind, and soul.
We started building a hospital, and eventually when it was done, we realized, wow, this is a big hospital. We asked the government officials from the Ministry of Health to come and look at it, and they said, wow, this is level 4. We had actually applied for level 3 and they gave us level 4.
Due to the demand for quality, affordable care in Nairobi, the hospital has extended outpatient services to adults as well.
Later on, we're able even to open another clinic in Juja Farm. And our plan is that we will be able to open other clinics around, satellite clinics that will feed into the main hospital. The main hospital has an operating room or theater, there's a pharmacy, there's a lab, we have ultrasound, X-ray and all that. It's a good hospital, and people are coming in hundreds and getting help. We've done medical camps around in the hospital and even other places in the city and even outside the city in the rural areas where we have been able to support so many people, and we are really thankful for this vision that God gave us.
The hospital also offers ambulance services to those who need immediate medical attention and they are not within the hospital. The children and staff of Happy Life rely on the prayers and passionate support of our many volunteers, sponsors, and financial partners.
Hello there, and welcome back to Kingdom Business Network. We are in the most wonderful season of the year, Christmas, and we are trying to think during Christmas, what are the opportunities there are to do business, to do good business, spend money. But I'm also aware there are people who overspend during Christmas. We'll come to that, but how you can regulate your spending also, and what are some of the principles we need to apply here. But before we went for break, we were talking about food in the food industry. How can you come in? How can you become a player? Yeah. Because I think if there's anything that is common for all of us, is that we all eat, and if there's a season that people eat is during the season of Christmas, because you cannot have celebration without eating. I don't know. What else can we think in the food industry?
I think in the area of food, number one, I think, is to avoid eating too much. Because
what is too much? What is too much?
Well, on a serious note, I think Christmas people eat during holidays, like in the US. The most hospitals are filled with people with heart conditions during holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas, because people eat all kinds of things without caring, and they end up in hospital. And by the way, while we're talking about that, there's a hospital that I heard about called Jesse Cage Hospital, right on Raisambu. If you have someone who is unwell, that's highly recommended. Go visit it and see what services they offer there. Now, in that light, I think it would be necessary to know that, during Christmas, when I was growing up, during Christmas, we used to eat a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of food. You eat actually in 3 houses in one day. Yeah. And the food that is piled on your plate, you think it's for 3 people, it's just for you. We used to eat a lot. And, as we were young, but I will not say what happened at night.
Are you saying you stopped eating?
I will not say what happened at night after eating like that. That's a story for another day. So really, it's a caution that even though it is a time of celebrating, eat what you can handle. The next thing is share your food with the people who don't have. Even those who have, share what you have with them. All right. And when it comes to business, find out what it is that you can purchase that is going with this season. All right. Become unique. Teach yourself how to make an apple pie, and become the producer of apple pie. Supply it to restaurants, right? Because it's unique, right? Find out how you can make other things that can be supplied, cookies that you can make in your own house and label them nicely. Now, labeling is easy, and make sure that you meet all the criteria, the standards of making them, and supplying them, and have people enjoy what you make. That's how businesses are started.
Wow. So you could start business right there.
Exactly.
Being creative. I think there are people who, for the longest time, especially growing up, we didn't think people can be creative with food. The way we make, let's say, ugari or githeri or rice, it's been the same all along. But people can be creative. They can think, okay, we have potato. What else can we make from potato? We have the arrowroots. We have the sweet potato. What can we make out of this? We have the greens, we have the spinach. So that we're not doing, it can be boring. That's why we hated, let's say githeri in quotes, because we ate githeri, not just because we ate it every day, but it was made the same way. It was just boiled. So when it's githeri, it's just boiled, you add some salt, and that's it. There's nothing else. Didn't add nothing else. So anything else you can think about food?
I think on food, what I would like to tell the young people is that there are many business opportunities that are available in the catering industry. And you don't need a lot of money for you to be able to exploit some of these opportunities. And young people, you don't have any business staying idle and saying there are no jobs or waiting for somebody to employ you. Your simple skill of cooking, whatever it is, you can actually commercialize it.
Correct. Correct.
In the process, you have a whole 1 year to think about it. You can start cooking whatever it is that you know how to cook best. And people will come lining up to buy it.
Yeah.
A company like KFC was just started by somebody who just understood how to cook chicken. That's it. He just came up with a recipe of cooking chicken. I can tell you of someone somewhere in Kerogoya who cooks chicken, and you go to his restaurant, he cuts the chicken into two from top, is it top to bottom or from head to the layer? Yeah, that one, across.
2 pieces.
So 2 pieces. There's no quarter, there's nothing. So it is 2 pieces. He puts it into mbukiza, he adds, I don't know, pili-pili, some vegetables.
You're already making me hungry, sir.
Yeah. But I want to say something about this recipe. Because of this recipe, somewhere in Kerogoya, you go there from about 11 and the place is fully packed.
Wow.
I got to know it when I was working as a salesperson and I was taken by other salespersons. That's about 20 years ago.
Wow.
The reason I went there, the man I think is dead if I'm not wrong. And the place lives on. Why? Because of a simple recipe. You sit down like this, and the next thing they do is to bring you half chicken with some greens. Actually, what is it? Sukuma wiki. They actually put a very big leaf like this. It's standard procedure. And with the pili-pili and ugali.
Wow.
You know? And the way you ate it 10 years ago tastes the same even today.
Nothing. The recipe still stays.
Yes, somewhere in Kerogoya.
The place is packed. I've heard about the place.
You've also heard about the place.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to tell the young person here is, don't ignore that small idea that you have. You can make money out of it. Don't ignore the days of small beginning. You can start a business out of a simple concept of just boiling. Actually, it's not even cooking. It is boiling chicken in a unique way you only know about.
Wow.
Right.
That reminds me, the other day I made a smoothie and it came out very nice. I'm not sure I can even remember what I put in, but just like, sometimes it's in the trying. You're trying to do something and you realize, wow, it came out. Maybe you're making rice or making something and you almost surprise yourself. And out of that you can decide, well, I went to, I think, a hotel someplace in Nairobi, and they had added a new, something in the menu. They had added a new item, and it was after name of somebody. Because this person kept asking them to make chicken or beef in this manner, just a simple way. And so they called it so and so special. So they put their name there, and it's become popular. And I think that's how sometimes things are born. Out of just the curiosity, just trying to do something. So I think even in business, there are people who have succeeded in business, not because they had great ideas, but because they just started doing something. And they realized, what I'm doing is making money, it's making sense. People are liking it. I'm making porridge in this manner, I'm making tea in this manner, I'm making this or the other. And people begin to love it. So don't ignore, like Dr. Francis says, don't ignore that you may call small idea. It could be the thing that will bring a great revolution and bring you a lot of money because just from that smaller. Because big things start as small ideas. It begins like a seed planted in your mind, and when you begin to develop it, then it becomes bigger and bigger. Before you realize it's something great.
Exactly.
There is on that concept of food. There is. In Kenya, we have, how many tribes do we have in Kenya?
42 plus.
43 now.
So 43 tribes. So every tribe has their own food that is liked a lot. And every time you go to a different place and you're served a meal from that location, you discover that it only tastes good because it's made by those people. So in other words, the Kambas, they have their own delicacy. The Kikuyus, the Luos, everyone. So if someone was to open a restaurant and accommodate majority of the tribes in the suburban areas and accommodate those meals so that if someone is coming to, say, Nairobi and they are looking for their meal and they come from the Digo and they come find it being served, they will enjoy that. And the people who are not from Digo, they would want to try this delicacy from Digo, that is made the way the Digo people do it. So someone can be able to do the research of what is the main delicacy in this tribe and incorporate in the menu. That same food someone else would want to try, someone who's always heard about maybe Meru people. but they've never been there because they're in Mombasa. And now this is Meru plate.
Food, yeah.
And it's right there available. And it's made the way it's made in Meru. Then they will enjoy it.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Like when you travel, like in the US, you find they have Mexican food, they have Chinese food, Korean food, and all that. Ethiopian, I don't know that. They have Kenyan.
They do have a few Kenyan restaurants.
Okay,
They do
I think that's a good idea. Even in Kenya, you can open a restaurant and yourself, because people are all over scattered everywhere. You find people from central Kenya, they're in Mombasa, people from the coast, they're in western Kenya. So if you bring their food closer home, then they will not be struggling a lot. And that's
the people who are not from there, they'll be excited to taste that food.
Taste that food,
And to say, today we had Maasai meat, just the way they produce it, the way they make it. Or today I went to this restaurant, and if you go there, they're making this meal from the Nandi people, and it's very delicious.
Wow. But let's think about spending during Christmas. I think it's also a season where people spend. I don't know that it's a lot of money or people have a lot of money to spend. What do you think, Reverend Steve?
I think it's more of careless spending. Because people drain January because they don't have money. But it's not they don't have it; they spend it. A lot of people, when you look at the clubs, people are drinking carelessly. Some of them are there 3 days, and they are spending all their money. And someone with 3 children, they are eating and drinking and living a very merry life, and forgetting that those children will be going to school in January. That's called careless spending. And I think it's important for people to kind of just become disciplined in the way they spend money. And this calls for planning. If someone plans for Christmas and discovers that they would need X amount of money when Christmas comes, then and they put that money aside, then it will not affect their budget. But if somebody is just spending everything they have and just buying everything that they can buy and going to places that they cannot afford. Come January, people say, kumekauka sana January. Haijakauka. Wewe umekaukiwa na wewe ulikausha. December ulikausha January. So it's just really planning. And when people plan, then they're able to decide, okay, I can't overspend here. I can't go here. I can't go to this place. I can't waste my money.
So it's not about January being a tough month as people believe. It's about our discipline. I think it calls for discipline.
Discipline, yes.
How we spend money, the resources we have. But again, also there is a lot of pressure from the society. You find everybody is eating, drinking, traveling, going on holiday, going to Mombasa, whatever. And there's so much pressure. If you have children, there's so much pressure. If you have a wife or a husband, they're asking, what are we doing? Where are we going? Hey, what are we buying? Hey, I need a suit. I need this. We need to pay this hotel. We need to do this. I mean, so much pressure. Even without telling, everybody is feeling pressurized. We have to spend. We have to do this. I don't know what you think.
Well, I like the advice that Reverend Steve has given, that we need to be responsible in our spending. Because it's January to take care of school fees and those kind of things. However, as a business person, there's a very big opportunity because there's a lot of money circulating. So on one side, we'll advise you to be careful in your spending. But remember, I'm also talking to a business person. I need to remind the business person that the mood is to spend. The mood is to spend. And as a business person, you have to actually take this opportunity and try and make as much money as possible. Because also, the other downside is that a lot of businesses come January,
they're closing.
They are not selling anything.
Yeah, that's correct.
And that's why you'll find a lot of businesses have what you call sales. The sale, that's where they reduce, they look at what has not been moving the whole year, and they give some discounts so that they can be able to offload the dead stock in December. So December has an opportunity of you to clear dead stock. So if you have dead stock, something has not moved, give an offer in December. People are in the mood of just buying and careless spending, which we don't recommend in this channel. But as a business person, take that opportunity, offload all that, and so that January you can start restocking.
Correct.
So get out of the season. I mean, all the money you can get.
Exactly.
But again, on the other side of the coin, we are also giving advice for people not to overspend. Does budget help in this kind of season?
Yes, budgeting is very, very important in life, and as an individual, you cannot operate successfully without a budget, because then you start to realize that you're doing things you never planned for, you never budgeted for because of pressure. And the season has a lot of pressure because you're comparing yourself with the Joneses. These people are doing this, so you also want to do it, and it wasn't in your plan. So my advice would be have a simple budget which takes care of your December and also the rest of the year. Track your expenses. Like I do track my expenses using a simple spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet. So I know what I've been spending over, and I can see what is spiking up. And then avoid peer pressure. Avoid being pressurized to spend unnecessarily. So even as we get into the coming few weeks, I mean, it's actually Christmas is next week, but one or something like that. So as we get into that, have a plan on exactly what you want to do on the 25th, how much you want to spend, plan for it, and that will take care of your January.
Correct.
And some of the things will be cheaper in January.
Exactly.
Because the prices drop. So if you're going to buy, unless you really need to buy during Christmas, there are things you can decide, well, I can wait for January and buy them. Because I mean, I don't have to buy around this season, but budgeting, like Dr. Francis is saying, is key, that you need to budget. Don't just spend because there's a lot of pressure, because you don't know what somebody else has. You may be having your 20, 30,000, another person has 300,000. So you can't be spending at the same rate. You have to think, well, this is what I have. This is the exposure I have. This amount I have for myself, for my family. This is what we can afford. I think affordability is also key. Because again, you need to, if you are going to be a successful business person, you need to take care of the peace of your mind. Now, if you start the year with the debts, because also during Christmas, a lot of people go into debts. So you start in January, you don't have the peace of mind. Because you're wondering, how did I spend all this money and all the things I did, and now I owe people, I owe the bank, I owe this person or this institution. Then there is school fees to pay and all that. That's why most people dread January, and they think January is the worst month of the year. But I believe there's no bad month in the year. January is a good month, just like any other. It's how we make it to look like. And everybody wants to be, January to, Christmas to extend to January and February and all that. But again, budgeting and also don't borrow. I don't know what you say to people out there who borrow during Christmas, only to start the year with a lot of debt, and they don't know what to do. And here they are crying, they are mourning, they have a lot of, there is no peace. Actually, families are affected. You find during Christmas, and maybe we can talk a little bit in that area, what happens within the family setting during Christmas, because that eventually will spill over to January, to businesses. Again, if there's no peace at home, you may not enjoy doing business. And I think that's an area, I don't know what you would say about in the family setting.
What I would say about borrowing is that, first of all, currently, and I'm speaking about currently, and I'm believing that things will change. Currently, borrowing is very expensive in this country. That means you have to borrow only when you know you can be able to make a return that is going to, first, be able to repay the loan, and two, make you some money. Because right now, if you look at the CBR rate, is actually 12.5%. Banks will add 6%, so a good customer will get a loan at 18.5.
Wow.
However, there's always a risk premium for people like me who might not be the best customers of the bank. So you start getting your loans at 20-something%. That's a lot of money.
A lot of money.
As interest. So
and the cost of borrowing, not included in this.
When you add other transactional costs to borrow, you start getting about 23, 24, 25%.
Correct.
That's a lot of money in terms of interest rates. So the question is if you're borrowing, then you need to have a business opportunity or a business actually which is going to give you more than 30%. And those are very rare at the moment to break even. So what I would say is that do the maths, what's the cost of your borrowing, and then borrow responsibly, because it might come to bite you. Yeah. So if you're borrowing, especially now for Christmas, a lot of people would borrow to spend on eating or parties and all that, then it's not worth it.
How about borrowing as a business?
Borrowing as a business is also tricky. Again, depends on how much are you able to generate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
What did you say about spending during Christmas?
And
borrowing and all that?
Yeah. I think it's all planning. It's all back to the planning. If someone has been planning the whole year and they've been putting money aside, that person, when they're spending what they have already budgeted for. So it comes back to
planning.
It comes back to planning and budgeting.
And saving through the year.
Yeah, so because the year has only 12 months. Most people get paid once a month. So you're only saving 12 times. And to be more precise, 11 times. Because December is when you spend it. So if you're going to just 11 times deciding this is the amount I'm going to put away, that discipline has to be there. So that now when you're spending during Christmas time, it is not a strain on what your earnings are, but it becomes something that you enjoy doing. Instead of buying your children a pair of shoes, now you can buy them more. Buy them a skirt or a skirt suit, or take them to their hair salon to put human hair on their hair and do their nails. Do more for them and treat them more, or treat yourself better. Because now you have money that you've been saving, and the reason you've been saving it is so that you can spend it during this time. So I think it's crucial to be able to spend, to be able to plan and to budget, because a year by the way goes very quickly.
What are some of the commotions? Because also during Christmas there's a lot of commotion in families. I don't know, from your own experiences, what causes it and how can this be avoided? You find a lot of fightings and chaos in the families. People cannot agree on many things and aspects of spending Christmas. I don't know, what did you say about that?
Well, it's very interesting because this season comes with a lot of issues. And what you're saying is actually applicable because you might find the father of the house is indulging in alcohol because he's being bought beer left, right, center. He comes back, there's a big fight, He might be squandered the money for Christmas and also squandered school fees and the rest of it. So that becomes one of the major issues that we face. That people will spend too much over Christmas without thinking about the coming months, without thinking about the children. And that will bring a lot of commotion. Some will spend a lot of unnecessary time elsewhere indulging in parties and the rest of it. By the time somebody is coming back home, it's 2 a.m. in the morning, 3 a.m. in the morning, and that will bring conflict in the house. And those become some of the issues that we are facing.
What would you advise, especially men? I've had, in church and all that, women complain that men would invite all the guests and then sit there with the remote and the woman should be, like Christmas Day, the woman will be cooking from morning till evening.
That's why I married her.
So at the end of the day, the man is very happy. I hosted 30 people, brothers and everybody. And then the woman is like, how long am I gonna do this? Because I am tired. I've been serving, I've been on my feet the whole day, or the whole Christmas season. I don't know.
What I would tell the woman is very simple. Look for your friends to come and help you cook and enjoy the moment. So if he invites 20 of his male friends, he'll invite 10 of your friends. So as you're chatting there in the kitchen, you also have your own small party within the big party.
You have a party within.
But also, I like what you said and how you put it, but also I think there should be.
We just don't want to take the man to the kitchen.
No. There should be a concerted effort.
Yes.
You know, wherever the men are, there's what you can do. Even if you're not there making whatever you can make in the kitchen, but maybe there's a goat to be made, the men can help, there are drinks to be bought, there are things to be done. So that again, you're not sitting the whole day and your wife or whoever is on their feet, on their toes the whole day. Again, in the evening, there'll be trouble because somebody will not be happy that you have not been doing anything and I have been hosting the whole, because hosting is work.
You know, sure. Bishop, there is a Proverbs, there's a book of Proverbs. All you have to do that evening is quote that book.
Which one?
The Virtuous Wife.
Proverbs 31.
Proverbs 31.
But it's not supposed to be oppressive.
The man sits at the gate bragging about the wife.
Not for oppressing the women. Not for oppressing the women. Maybe also one more before we close is I find us wasting a lot of time on the highways, on the roads. Because during Christmas there is a lot of traffic on the highways. I've had people just driving from Nairobi to Murang'a and they spend the night on the road. Of course, you can imagine the gas, the time wasted. I remember what time we left Nairobi around 9 o'clock. A place we normally drive less than an hour, it took us about 7 hours to drive. So you're getting home around 5 o'clock and you are tired, you feel so miserable, you have spent a lot of money on gas and everything. I don't know what balance is needed in all this.
Planning is very important because we all know that when it comes to close to Christmas Day, whether that's the 24th, there's a lot of traffic. So plan to be wherever it is, might be 2 or 3 days before or even a day after.
Correct.
Because then traffic jams becomes quite a big issue. I've also been caught up in overlapping. Again, even the safety is also an issue. So minimize travel and plan ahead of time.
And of course, being careful.
Be careful.
Not just because people are drunk. I think there's that excitement of Christmas, people over speeding, and you find we lose a lot of people, a lot of lives during the season of Christmas. It's not supposed to be so. I think if you're going to drive during this season, of course you need to be sober. But again, we want to have you in January and February. We want to, your family needs you. Your children are looking up to you. So nobody should die because of careless driving during Christmas. You find a lot of buses, matatus, killing so many people. And this happens all Christmas seasons. And I believe it's avoidable. We may call them accidents, but some of them actually out of negligence. It is something we can avoid. So that as we celebrate Christmas, we have a real reason to celebrate. We don't cry. We are not here losing people and losing money. Of course, a lot of con men also come up during Christmas because they are also looking for money. Everybody is looking for money to spend. So also be careful. I don't know what advice you can. Of course, today there's a lot of con men through the phone, sending messages, calling people. You know, the other day somebody was calling somebody and saying, I'm calling from Kenya Power, we are disconnecting your power. And all they are looking for is, can you send money so that we don't... And these are con men, they're even not from Kenya Power. What advice can we give people so that they avoid these kind of people?
Just be vigilant. If you don't know someone and they're saying they're calling from your bank, don't believe them. Just be careful, be vigilant.
And don't be quick to act.
Don't be quick to respond. If someone sends you a message, just because it is clickable, don't click on it because you don't know who it is and what it is that they're sending. They may be trying to access your information. And so just be vigilant. And just because someone calls you and talks to you doesn't mean that you have to respond to whatever they're saying. And then you don't have to respond immediately. You know, they're telling you they're disconnecting power. Na saa hii Kenya stima inapotea hata 7 hours. What's your problem? Why are you responding so good?
Let them disconnect. You can sort it out later.
You can sort it out later.
Exactly.
You can sort it out later.
Yes.
And the other thing about driving, 6 o'clock in the evening, your headlights are not on. What's your problem? Put them on. They don't affect your car in any way. Let the other driver see you. What are you doing putting parking lights on at 7 p.m.? What are you doing? What are you trying to say? put the lights on so people can see you.
Yeah.
You know?
I've seen that a few times.
Yeah, what is that?
You're going to change your lane.
Yes.
You didn't even somebody here.
You don't know.
They don't have their lights
They don't
on.
have their
Yes.
lights. What's wrong?
They're using mine. You're almost bumping into them, and then you realize there's a car here. So maybe the school they went to. So what advice can you give people during this season to avoid con men? And I like what you say. Don't be quick to ask. And I think also, if you're not sure about something, ask.
Ask, yes.
You can ask your friend. You can ask, even parents ask your children who may be more, experienced in issues of technology. Don't just click things, or somebody is calling, press here, before you realize all the money in your M-Pesa is gone.
It's gone, yes.
What advice?
Yeah, in addition to what he said, which is very good advice, is also the other side whereby people might come up with a very sweet proposition,
Right.
whereby they entice you with something that's gonna give you some big benefit and all that. What I would want to tell people is that if somebody doesn't know you and you don't know the person, don't try to be over friendly with strangers.
Right.
Because they'll come in and they'll give you a business proposition or they'll tell you this, and then you feel like you're gonna make a lot of money out of it. And then you're asking yourself, how comes that this person does not have his brothers and sisters to share this opportunity with?
I know.
How comes he picked you out of nowhere, a stranger?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have sent a lot of money and been conned because the proposition looked very nice to ignore.
Yeah.
But somebody said, if the deal looks too good, think twice.
Yeah.
The other day, somebody was telling me they lost money, or other people lost money because the hacking of their phone or WhatsApp, and then people sending messages, hey, send me 10,000. Before she realized, people had sent a lot of money. So before even sending that money, why don't you call that person?
Find
just
out.
to clarify, to find out. Don't just see a message on WhatsApp or whatever and say, then you just send money. Don't be so quick to act. I think it's good to be careful. Well, our time is up, but it's been a wonderful discussion here in Kingdom Business Network, especially during this season of Christmas. We wish you a very Merry Christmas, blessed, and that you enjoy the moment. And come January, you'll still be happy and enjoying. And the joy is not just for Christmas. The joy should continue in January, February, and throughout the year. More because Jesus Christ is the reason for that season. So if you don't know him as your Lord and Savior, I want to give you this opportunity that you can also give your life to him during this season of Christmas. Repeat this prayer after me. Lord Jesus, I come to you.
I come to you.
Forgive all my sins.
Forgive all my
Write my name.
Write my name
in the book of life. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Lord,
for saving me. In Jesus' name. If you have prayed that prayer, know that your name is written in the book of life. You're a child of God. You can enjoy Christmas stress-free because you have the Prince of Peace. His name is Jesus. God bless you. We'll see you soon. Continue doing business in the best way possible, with integrity, with love, and with care. More than all, care for your friends, your family, and Christmas is a time to share and give. God bless you.
God bless you.
Bye-bye. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. All right.